Beijing's 2008 Olympics have sparked urban redevelopment on an unprecedented scale. The Olympic Stadium and village alone employs around 25,000 labourers, and the total project is costing £42 billion. Throughout Beijing, there has been more construction over the past year than the whole of continental Europe over the past 3 years. Yet at least half of these new developments will remain empty, unaffordable to your average Chinese. So effectively, they're being built solely to ensure Beijing looks shiny and modern when the world's cameras arrive in 2008. Meanwhile, almost all the city's traditional hutong districts are being torn down, with well over 500,000 inhabitants already forcibly evicted from their homes. I've come to one of the oldest hutong districts to seek out an American who lives here.
Welcome to Beijing.
Meyer has started to teach English to the older members of his local community because they're keen to be able to help out foreign visitors during the Olympics.
Do you speak English? Do you speak English? I can speak a little English. Very good.
Sorry, I didn't wish to disturb you. Just interested in what you were doing here. Do you mind if I just sort of sit and watch? Is that okay?
Sure. Come to the front. Come.
Mike wasn't going to waste the opportunity of a real Englishman in his class.
I am a comedian, funny person.
Tough crowd, right? Exactly.
But I've played tougher crowds than this in my time, and I felt professionally obliged to win them over.
Chinese food is beautiful. I love Chinese food. I also love Qingtao. Qingtao beer? Qingtao? Yes.
Now that I have them warmed up, the lesson can begin.
Sorry, could you speak slowly? What do you do?
I am a grandmother.
It struck me as a tragic irony that these old folks would probably have been forcibly evicted from their homes here long before the Olympics begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good.
The value of this neighborhood isn't necessarily the buildings itself, but it's the intangible heritage, the cultural heritage, and again, the social network that still exists here.
Hello. Will this be here in 2 years' time?
That's the problem. Nobody knows. You know, in Beijing, when there's no civil planning bureau you can go to and ask, oh, when will my home be torn down? I mean, this whole city right now, one of the reasons for the destruction of this old heritage, it's not that they're afraid of losing face, it's that they can't imagine losing face before the world. Beijing, this is its coming out party to show the world.
Yes.
This is the capital of the world's next superpower.
Yes.
You know, this is not a communist state. This is not a weak nation that's been invaded by America and England and Japan and whatnot. And so this is all part and parcel of it. You know, let's not lose face before the world. It's surprising. There's very little crime in this neighborhood. They put up all the arrests for the week. They post it. You know, whose house got broken into, what was taken, name of the criminal, and whatnot. So it's, again, I like it because it's the complete opposite of this anonymous suburban life. You know, you.
Walking around here, I haven't seen any other Westerners that live here.
I'm the only one in this neighborhood.
It seems
the
to be.
57,000 people, yes, I'm the only one. So you can imagine every move I make is watched closely.
Is it really?
If I get drunk one night, the next day it's, oh, you know, Little Plum Blossom was drunk. And over
Little
and over.
Plum Blossom?
Yeah, unfortunately my name is Little Plum Blossom in Chinese. It's actually Eastern Heroic Plum Blossom.
Oh, right.
There's a lot of good things to say about living in a traditional neighborhood like this, but we also have to be honest. A lot of these houses are dilapidated. They're awfully cold in the wintertime. And then there's this little issue that when you have to go to the loo, this is where you go.
Okay.
Please.
take my word for it, the stench is overpowering. So excuse me while I talk and hold my breath at the same time.
You may not want to look too closely in here.
It's not heated, it's not air conditioned, and often the light's not very good either.
And there's a guy just in there, so I think we should come out actually.
So this is the entrance to where I live. Place is about 100 years old. In Chinese, this is called a Dazhalan, which just means a big, messed up garden, basically.
Mike's house is deep within a maze of small courtyards within courtyards, almost impenetrable to an outsider.
Come on in. Hey, Daniel, 你好. 怎么样? This is one of my
And this is one of his neighbours, his surrogate grandmother, who proudly invites me in to see her house. Or rather, her room.
Is it good, she said?
Yes, it's good.
She raised 2 children here. So her first son was born in 1947, her second son was born in 1949.
Well, she doesn't look old enough.
她说你不是这么老啊.
我都80了。
She's over 80.
Wow, really?
那你有2个小孩了吧？
How many kids do you have?
No,
她
none.
没有小孩.
No.
你们要小孩的？
没有小孩.
应该要了。
She's saying you have to have kids.
The night is young.
她说还有时间，今天还有时间。
Extraordinary to think that this lady has lived in this one room for more than 60 years. She was here even before Chairman Mao came to power, and her life seems untouched by the turbulent changes in her country.
Come on in.
Extraordinary too for me, a fellow Westerner, to think of Mike living in such basic conditions.
So this is my place. This is my kitchen. Please come in.
Thank you. You've got 2 rooms, basically.
Yeah. So this is my bedroom.
For most people living in the West, this would be considered poor living conditions. I don't know.
Well,
I don't wish to be rude.
No, it is. It is. Let's see where you live. No, but it is. It is poor living conditions. And,
So why on earth does Mike want to live here?
I wanted to see a part of Beijing that is disappearing. I didn't want to be one of those people that said, oh, old Beijing is going away and we have to do something to help those people and not have ever lived in it or experienced it.
For the first time since arriving in China, I feel I'm beginning to understand a little of their culture.
Thank you for showing me a part of Beijing that I wouldn't have seen if I just come here as a tourist.
Well, let's hope that if you come back for the Olympics, it'll still be here.
I hope so. Good to see you. See you again. Cheers.
Bye.
Goodbye.